Hey cats, it's Ed, Max Strength, cold and flu bud here. Almost recovered from a really bad head cold. Practically everybody I know's ill at the moment, or sort of coughing and spluttering. I'm back today with some running related news for you. Of course, we got some of those awesome new releases, a little look at a basketball shoe that Nike have coming with some Zoomx foam. I'm going to take a look at RUNREPEAT's top 10 running shoes from 2023, and take a gander at Nike's new Ekiden versions of their top line race shoes, which are set to release in December. Running news coming at you. Thanks for tuning in, people. It's always appreciated. Help the channel to continue to grow by hitting that subscribe button, but also giving this video a thumbs up like. Danke schön. Let's get straight into that running news. I can hardly wait. At last, we've finally seen a Nike basketball shoe featuring some Zoomx midsole material. I wondered how long it would be, because running shoes and basketball shoes just seem to go hand in hand in terms of the technology. Here we have the GT Cut 3, features a section of Zoomx within that midsole there, plus a carbon plate which is visible through the rubber of the outsole. The profile of this one seems to be a little bit closer, I guess, and related to what we see in the Alphafly 3. Certainly the profile's very similar, isn't it? That one apparently is set to release very early in January. Nike have finally put some shots up on their website. It's got the whole of the internet salivating over that one, especially the weight as well. I'm going to cover that one in a bit more detail in a coming episode. The Zoomx looks set to be contained within perhaps a firmer section of the midsole to retain a sense of stability there, which of course is perhaps needed even more on the basketball court, where you've got lots of twists and turns, lots of stops and starts. That's just parcel of the game. Oh yeah, reminds me of watching John Stockton. That's how I grew up. That guy was a magician. How he never won like a championship is beyond me. Interesting that Nike haven't messed around with a herringbone traction-like pattern on a running shoe in a while. We've always got lugs and ridges there. They stick with that sort of waffle design, but you know, everybody loves like the Jordan patterns of the sort of 1 and the 3 and 4. Just weird they've never bothered to try it out really on a running shoe. One observation here is that this has a lower stack than the previous GT Cut model, perhaps due to the fact they're using that Zoomx foam maybe. That's pretty much the reverse of like every other running shoe in the whole world right now. They're all going one direction. I think the GT Cut 3 is out in early 2024. Will we see this sort of Zoomx implementation in a Nike running shoe soon? I mean, this is basically a running shoe really, isn't it? Story 2, well, I've got one interesting image here of the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Pro 2. I've only just managed to get the first one. Doubt there's any more stack here, as Mizuno have already pushed the boundaries as much as they can, trying to circumvent that midsole stack rule. By the account of the website that this picture was taken from, this still has the dual layer midsole, so they have the Mizuno Energy Light Plus on top, and then you've got a standard Energy Light on the bottom section. 210 grams or 7.4 ounces for this new version of the shoe. I think the other one was about 224 grams or 7.9 ounces, so it could be a touch lighter than the first version of the Wave Rebellion Pro. Perhaps a little bit more in line with some of the other top line race shoes. As I mentioned earlier, Mizuno can't really add any more stack to the rear section of this shoe, but by all accounts they've added some extra midsole in the midfoot area. Apparently the toe stack is now 36mm. I think the previous version was 33. So they're basically maxing it out as much as they possibly can, still circumventing those rules obviously by having that extreme bevel at the back. Of course you're still going to get those extensive cutouts on the bottom of the shoe to weight relieve it somewhat. It's a little bit like you've got a weight relieved Les Paul, where they take out loads of bits of wood from the inner sort of core, but you know, some people will swear by having the one that has no weight relief whatsoever. I think it's quite clever really to adjust the profile of the shoe to get around those rules. I will have my review of the Wave Rebellion Pro very soon. Now I can get out and do a bit of running again. I've been feeling really poor, I have to be honest. I do think though that this type of design does kind of push the shoe away from those sort of casual onlookers. It's only the complete midsole maniacs like me that want to test this stuff out. Let me know your thoughts on these sort of rule-breaking shoes down in the comments. Right, a bit of fun this one, you know, if you are associated with Run Repeat or something. I'm not being nasty or anything, it's just a bit of a laugh. I'm always quite interested to see what shoes come out on top in terms of Run Repeat's like ratings each year. So we're going to take a look at 2023, all the shoes that have come out in this year, which ones really hit the spot and which ones don't. Wonder if there'll be a few in there that I really like and I've rated highly as well. Will I agree with their shoe selections? Let's take a look. So at number 10 we've got the Asics Gel Cumulus 25. Now that isn't a shoe I've tested out. I sort of have reached out to Asics, see if I can get a pair and test them. The 24 was a decent enough shoe, you know, sort of daily activities. Slightly slimmer slab of the Flight Foam Blast Plus, if I recall. Though I think the Nimbus 25 really has that area covered pretty well, and the Cumulus just isn't really that much lighter to make it a sort of, you know, absolutely vital pickup. At number 9 they got the Adidas Ultra Boost Light. I can't say that's the 9th best running shoe of 2023. I just don't think it is. Struggle to see how they can rate that at 89 out of 100 as well. There's massive discounts on that shoe right now. There's loads of pairs available. Well under the retail. At number 8 they got the Asics Gel Venture 9. Can't say I've ever heard of this shoe. Seems like more of a budget model, I suppose. You know, they've cut it in half, put it in the freezer, and they've given it an 89 score. Has anybody tried this one out? Has anyone even seen this shoe? Because I certainly haven't. At position 7, the Gel Nimbus 25 from Asics. Do like that shoe from a cushion and impact protection perspective, though the outsole really wasn't for me, especially in the wintertime. I do note that there's a trail version of that outsole as well, and it does seem like they've switched things up quite drastically in terms of the outsole on the Nimbus 26. At 6, you got the Brooks Levitate 6. They've got that as a superb rating, 90. Again, I've seen few reviews on this, not many people talking about it. You know, maybe Run Repeat are onto a secret winner here. We should all be out buying them. Tim Gross, go out and grab a pair of the Levitate 6. It could answer all your prayers. I've not heard anything at all to urge me to go out and buy that one. Shoe 5, I can say is a winner, the Saucony Endorphin Elite. I love that shoe. Light, responsive, it's exciting to run in. Though I would be interested to see how like price and value came into those Run Repeat scores, because, you know, it is one of the more expensive running shoes out there. Well, at least until the Alpha Fly 3 comes out. Never seen the price of that. At 4, we got the Saucony Triumph 21. I'm not surprised to see this shoe right up there in terms of the scores. It's a banger. I can very much get on board with that. I think it's a really, really good offering from Saucony. Just got a little bit of everything there. At number 3, the Boston 12. Again, not surprised to see that up here. That is certainly worth it. The 3-Stripe brand have brought the model back on track, lowering the weight a little bit. It's more forgiving in terms of cushion and a really great price point as well. It's not too wallet smacking. Definitely worth the 3rd place position. Just lots of plus points to justify a position there. At number 2, they got the Brooks Hyperion GTS. A bit of an odd suggestion really. I think the standard version's a little bit lighter, though they do say it's got really poor rear foot lockdown, and they say that it's a higher drop than advertised, so that's like a con to the shoe. It's a bit weird. I think it's a great shoe, although I think the Hyperion Max is a better version of what they were trying to pull off there. And at position 1, it's the Wave Rider 27 from Mizuno. So like the best, highest rated shoe on Run Repeat this year is the Mizuno Wave Rider 27. I haven't heard much about that one. I haven't heard too many people talking about it. Obviously people like it, but I've rarely seen many Mizuno runners out there in the wild, at least here in the southwest of the UK. Bear in mind that shoe's got a 93 score and apparently a 13.2mm drop. I mean, that is like standing on the edge of a cliff. That warrants their top rated shoe for 2023. So it's a bit of an odd list for sure there. You've got no Super Blast, Vaporflies or anything like that. No Endorphin Speed either. Those are shoes I'd expect to see in there somewhere maybe. But interesting nonetheless. Last up, we got some banging releases from Nike. A little bit weird considering that they've got their Alpha Fly 3 coming out in January. They're dropping a whole load of new colorways of all their sort of standard and top level race shoes. In mind of the Ekiden races over in Japan, we've got a Vaporfly, we have a Zoomfly, a Pegasus and the Rival Fly. No Tempo Next percent this time though, people. I think it's finally dead, that shoe. Bright luminous marker pen vibes going on here. Don't think it's going to be for everybody. I mean, if you wear these out in the English winter, it's just going to wreck them. You know, wear them down through the Nine Springs Trail and any of these models are just going to look pretty shabby afterwards. It's a bit weird to release this type of colorway at this time, especially when all the other versions of the shoe have been available on discount over the sort of Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals. It's just a hard sell, especially in the Alphafly 2 life cycle. These release early in December 2023 if you're interested in picking up a pair. So it looks like this is the sort of final hurrah for the Alphafly 2 and a couple of the other models. I'm not going to be forking out for any of these. I just simply don't need them. But if you like those bright colours, then yeah, be like a pig in mud. That's all the news for this episode. If you spotted a good story, let me know on the email and the description of this video. Musical interlude time. Christmas just round the corner now. You can almost taste the mince pies. The only album I've been listening to is Merry Christmas Everyone by the master of Christmas songs, Shakin' Stevens. Now, you may be one of these sort of Scrooge-like bar humbug people that can't wait for Christmas to be over. Well, I've got a rockin' Christmas tune for you if that's the case. It's called So Long Christmas. Well, it doesn't seem like Shaky's actually trying to get rid of Christmas or get it out the way quickly. He's talking about all the sort of negative points of like spending money that you don't have and all that kind of stuff. But then he's still quite excited that Christmas is going to come. I think he's a little bit in two minds about it. He probably wants to have a great time. Maybe he's going to get himself a pair of like new Air Jordan 11s or something. But then he's also a little bit worried about the gas bill. And then again, you know, it's all on the house. He's going to treat his friends tonight. He just can't make up his mind. There's some fantastic honky-tonk piano here and some wonderful rockabilly style lead playing as well on the guitar later in the track. You can put this one on at the office party, or perhaps if you've had a small glass of sherry, you know, on Christmas Eve, place this one on and dance around the room with your loved ones. Or if you don't have any loved ones, you know, you can get the dog or cat or something and they'll join in with you as well. So Long Christmas by Shakin' Stevens. Thanks for tuning in, people. It is always appreciated. Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up like. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you